In the vast chronicle of human endeavor, few tales are as etched in our collective memory as the tragic maiden voyage of the Titanic. It was a vessel hailed as the pinnacle of modern engineering, a floating palace deemed unsinkable. In April of 1912, as it sliced through the frigid waters of the North Atlantic, the Titanic was not just a ship. It was a symbol of an era's boundless optimism and ambition. Carrying over 2,000 souls, from the wealthiest industrialists to hopeful immigrants, it represented a microcosm of society, all bound for a new world. But as we know, this monumental journey was destined for a catastrophic end, a story of hubris meeting the unforgiving power of nature. Yet, what if a few crucial moments had unfolded differently? What if the ship's fate was never sealed by ice? The path to disaster was paved with ignored alerts. On the night of April 14th, the airwaves crackled with messages from other ships, each a stark warning of the immense ice fields drifting into the Titanic's path. The SS Mesaba sent a direct message detailing a large field of pack ice and great numbers of large icebergs, but this critical information never reached the bridge. The wireless operators, overwhelmed with sending private passenger telegrams, treated it as non-urgent. Later that evening, the SS Californian, having stopped for the night after being surrounded by ice, tried to warn the Titanic of the danger directly ahead. The response from the Titanic's exhausted radio operator was dismissive. "Shut up! I am busy." These were not mere hints of danger. They were explicit, repeated warnings that, due to a combination of overconfidence and procedural failures, were tragically disregarded. Let's imagine a different timeline, one where a single decision alters history. In this alternate scenario, Captain Edward Smith, upon receiving the first clear iceberg warnings from the Mesaba, chooses caution over speed. He immediately orders the ship to slow from its near maximum speed of 22 knots down to a more prudent pace. He posts extra lookouts and ensures the bridge is fully briefed on the coordinates of the reported ice field. The culture of invincibility is replaced by one of professional diligence. As the Titanic approaches the danger zone, it is now moving slowly, its crew on high alert. When the iceberg is eventually spotted, the reduced speed gives the helmsman crucial extra seconds to react. The ship is able to steer clear, passing the mountain of ice with a safe margin. The passengers, sleeping in their cabins, remain blissfully unaware of the disaster they just narrowly avoided. In this reality, the Titanic would have arrived in New York a day or two behind schedule, its record-breaking ambitions unmet. The press might have criticized the delay, but the ship and all its passengers would be safe. There would be no frantic distress calls, no desperate scramble for lifeboats, and no icy grave for over 500 people. The SS Californian would have continued its journey the next morning, its crew never knowing they were moored just miles from a potential catastrophe. The world would celebrate the successful maiden voyage of the world's largest ship, and the name Titanic would remain a synonym for luxury and technological achievement, not for tragedy. The actual sinking of the Titanic, however, became a brutal but necessary catalyst for change. The immense loss of life led to a global outcry and prompted the first International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea in 1914. This landmark convention mandated that all ships carry enough lifeboats for every person on board, required 24-hour radio watches, and established the International Ice Patrol to monitor icebergs in the North Atlantic. These regulations, born from the ashes of the Titanic disaster, have saved countless lives in the century since and continue to form the bedrock of modern maritime safety. The tragedy forced the world to confront the perils of the sea with newfound humility. The story of the Titanic is a stark reminder of the devastating cost of human arrogance and the fine line between triumph and tragedy. And it leaves us to wonder how many other pivotal moments in our history hinged on a single, unheeded warning?